Good morning and welcome to the United Way of Southwest Alabama's Safety Net series. Last time I mentioned that it is the third year for us to be talking with our partner agencies, and we're excited to get an update on what's going on at Crittenton Youth Services. That's who we're featuring this week. As always, before we get started, we want to thank all of our sponsors. We are grateful for all of their support for this event and for everything else we've got going. Thank you so much. All right. Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
I am so well. Well, I'm glad to see you. You seem the same.
Seem the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start just from the very beginning. What is Crittenton Youth Services?
Crittenton Youth Services is a place, I think, that really looks at what goes on in our world of education and in our world with our youth. We research a lot to find out what do our youth need right now. And if you look on TV or you listen to something on the computer, you hear an awful lot about our youth suffering with anxiety and depression. Mm-hmm. So we kind of started researching and finding out about 3 years ago what really would help them. What was something that we can do? Because, we're a village, a staff of educators and counselors. So we wanted to put our best foot forward and find something that would make a difference. And I think we have. I really feel like we have found a program, and we've done that throughout our existence. Mm-hmm. Even beginning in the 1990s, we were looking for programs that would aid the schools, be a very positive thing to help all of our youth cope with anything that they had to face as a barrier in their lives. What we found was that we even went back and talked to the people that are the bosses in the job market, mm-hmm. who work with some of our younger entry-level employees. We talked to the counselors, high school teachers, everybody, to kind of look at what we felt our kids maybe weren't having as much luck putting into play as are using like they did in the past. And what we found was that social and emotional skills, yes, they can tell you, what they are, but do they use them? Mm-hmm. And so we wanted to really upgrade the skills and make sure that they knew exactly how to use them. Because when our children face anything that's really stressful, or when they just face situations in everyday life, do they know how to communicate the problems they're having with it? Do they have empathy for others? A lot of the things that trigger violence, some of the other things, is what we're teaching them to have. We want them to have a billfold full of skills, and there are really about 14 skills that we teach. And the uniqueness, I think, of our program is that we train 17, 18-year-olds, juniors and seniors in high school who are nominated by their schools on the basis of character and wanting to work with younger children. And we work with 10 to 14-year-olds. And we train and pick this year we've picked 47 high school students. That's the most we've had in quite a while. We usually average about 35. But we found that really in interviewing these young students, that they really knew a lot about what was bothering them or what was bothering their younger brothers and sisters or kids that they teach at church. And so we're so excited. We just finished sending them a letter. We get really sad at the end of the year because we have to give up our seniors.
Yeah.
And so, But we've been lucky. This actually this summer, we got to work with some of our students who are in college. They came back. They were ambassadors, and they came back and worked with us some this summer.
Nice.
So we get a view of what's going on after they leave us. You know, we know how it helps them or doesn't help them when they're.
Yeah, that's
But,
wonderful. So tell me, how does the program work like day to day? So does the older kids go into the younger schools? Do they all come to you? What does it look like in application?
all right. Well, let me first say that we're reaching over 1,500 students 7 to 8 times a year.
Oh
They
wow.
get 7 to 8 topics. What it looks like, and let me give you the fall.
Okay.
In the summer, we're working with boys and girls clubs, so that's fun. We get to have smaller groups. But in the fall, we probably well the projection for next year is 22 schools. So we hope to see our numbers go up from about 1,500 to 2,000 and something.
Mm,
But we meet our ambassadors at the school. They have a schedule. They're trained. I rewrite everything so it's very simplistic, so that they can practice it. And when they get to the school, of course, we're in the classrooms. If we're teaching fifth grade, we teach every fifth grader in that school, which I think is unique.
mhm.
And the kids are, we're there. There's always an instructor with, if we have 3 ambassadors at a school, we're with them constantly. That's our way of evaluating and also seeing if there's any adjustments that need to be made in the topics. Uh, but what we have learned is that not only Auburn University does all of our data, they keep us knowledgeable about what we are scoring, how our kids are doing. And we found that we're having, according to what they've come up with, looking at our surveys, that we are making a large effect on our children. And not only on our children, but on our ambassadors. They are learning too, if they're missing some of those skills, they're learning to pick them up and use them as they're teaching them. So it's a win-win situation. But we just hopefully will be another CTF grantee this year. The only thing we're going to do a little bit different is we want to work with the parents. We want to have hands on with the parents. And we're working on a collaboration so that we can teach parents how to teach our kids to use those skills. And I think that, I hope so. I'm looking forward to it. Um, I think it's going to be the thing. To me, everything really that we need to do is to not only work with the kids, but the combination. Parents are so important.
Yeah.
You know,
So they get the information at school and then it's reinforced at home
then
and
it's reinforced at home. Um,
back again the next day. That
yes.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I think as far as the subjects that um, I would love to share just a few of
Yeah.
the topics that we talk about. We want our kids to be able to communicate, first of all, with family. We love when they are able to communicate, and many of them are. But we also, if there's not a family member to communicate with in different situations, we want them to have a trusted adult that they can always talk to, because with Children's Trust Fund, we're part of the abuse situation too.
Mhm.
We're trying to do prevention. And so we want them to know that if they're victimized or anything, there is someone that you can go to. If it's not within the family, of course, that's where we want it to be. There is always somebody else
Mhm.
that you can go. The schools are wonderful about having the counselors, the nurses, and people that they can relate to there. We want them to know to be able to make some small decisions. It's so important. You start them out when they're little and you're trying to say, well, can you decide what you're going to wear today, and give them two choices,
Mm-hmm.
and hope that they can slowly and gradually learn how to make bigger decisions as they go along. We also want them to understand how to handle one of the things that we're seeing, and I think everybody is, parents especially, is, can my child handle their feelings, and can they handle their behavior? Can they know what to do to slow down, you know, the process that they use to do something every day? Can they put it into steps? But also, I think one of the things that we've kind of lost a little bit of is the empathy. We want them to learn to feel for, not only for themselves, but for others, and understand what process it takes to be able to do that. Hands on. Everything we want is hands on. I understand it, but do I know how to use it? And
Sure.
that's where the, I'm sorry, go
No,
ahead.
no, no, you're fine. I was agreeing with that. Again, it sounds like it's very well thought out, and that it's in um it's presented in a way that's digestible, and to where they can incorporate into their day to day. So I think that's what you're shooting for.
Well, and we wanted to make sure, they get tired of seeing adults.
Yeah.
we, I think we wanted to make a switch so that they would really enjoy, and they do. The 17, 18-year-olds, they love to relate to them. And of
Yeah.
course, the older teens can relate back in things they've learned.
Sure.
So hopefully it's a win situation with using the ambassadors. We now have seen, I think, over 800, and or worked with over 800 ambassadors over the years. So
That's amazing.
it's amazing, and they become part of our family. So we just have an extended family of about 800. And go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
I was gonna say, would you have any events coming up that people could either attend or find out more?
Oh,
Like
we're going to.
fundraisers. You got stuff coming up?
We're in the planning stages right now. We just finished an event at Community Center, the Community Foundation,
Hmm.
upstairs in their patio area. And what we wanted to do was, we invited, of course, any supporters, friends, reached way past that. We wanted people to just come and have a relaxed evening. And we did bell ringing, where we would tell a fact about Crittenton. And it wasn't boring. It was just, and we were just trying to get our message out of what we do. And it turned out to be the most relaxing, beautiful night to get to meet everyone. And so we're going to have another one. We
Okay.
really, and we're not sure yet on the date. We were planning for around October, but it was very successful.
Well, you'll be
And
sure and get us that information so that we can share it out,
oh, I
as
will
soon as you get everything
definitely.
nailed down.
Oh, I would love
What would
to.
you say is your most immediate need if people wanted to help in some way?
Well, when we start a new class, especially of ambassadors, we always have to buy some new blazers, or have the ones cleaned. When you're talking 47 blazers, we don't always fit everybody the first go around, but that is an expense that
Okay.
could really help us. Always run off paper. I mean, there's just little things that classroom teachers need that
Sure.
we need too.
Yep.
So
That makes sense. Anything you don't have to buy, that's money that can be invested elsewhere. So yeah, we all of us in the United Way family nonprofits definitely understand that. Um, so I've got your number on the screen, 251-639-0004. So if people have any of those things that they'd like to
Share, we
donate,
would
they can call you guys at that number.
yes. And
What if someone is interested in getting their child enrolled as an ambassador? Is there some
yes,
way to kind of help that along,
we
or can
have
they like
we,
self-nominate and then be I don't know. Will you explain the process a little bit?
sure. In the month of May, we always ask the school counselors to nominate for us, or any teachers or principals.
Mm-hmm.
Parents can definitely talk to their counselors and say, I would love for my child to fill out an application. As I said, we just closed it out
Sure.
for this year. But if your child is a junior, you still have next year. We take juniors and seniors. So we recommend, we've had some parents call us just this week and ask, are you still open? And like I said, we have one of the largest classes we've had of ambassadors. But we encourage you, if you're looking at senior year next year and you really want your child to be an ambassador, call us all throughout the year and we'll tell you, go straight to your counselor at school and say, I would love for my child to be a Crittenton ambassador.
Okay. And what would you say you guys normally review applications? So it'd be early spring, mid spring?
We review after we take the applications in May.
Okay.
And then we start probably the end of May, 1st of June.
Okay.
In fact, yeah. So we are open to that. We can't tell you how much we enjoy having a child and a parent say to us, we would like to be one of your ambassadors. We actually give some small scholarships for, books, things like that. I always tell my kids, now, look, this is not a 4-year scholarship. This is small,
Yep.
but anything helps.
Absolutely.
And we have an honors program at the end of the year to honor those who gave so much to these children, which is our seniors and juniors. So it's a win. As I think I've said that 3 times, but it really is a win.
It's okay.
A win
well, that's wonderful. We're about to wind down. Is there any final thoughts you'd like to share? Anything we haven't touched on that you want the world to know, or anybody that might be listening today?
I think the thing that I would like to say for myself, as well as our staff, we are truly teachers. We're truly those who love to work with children. It's a privilege when we get to work with a child. And we promise you always in our programs that we will give you the best for your child. It's just something that we've all done since we were young. So we've not changed any. Even though we've aged, we still love teaching children.
Well, that is wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Joy, for joining us today. I'm going to throw up a new graphic. This is thanking our sponsors again. We got them listed out now.
Wonderful.
It's been a real joy, literally, speaking with you today, and hope everyone that has listened has learned a lot and has a great rest of your day as well. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Thank you so much.